Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is.
Boy, it's been so much going on in politics. Just nutty the world we're living in. And we're going to talk about some of those issues today. Number one, we've got Stephen A. Naismith shucking and jiving as only he can, coming out just dropping bombs on Jasmine Crockett. We're going to break him down. We've also got now Trump and his administration is secretly going to open a base for Qatar. And good old redneck Iowa, Idaho, one of them. We're going to give you that story too. Then we've got George Stephanopoulos, a real journalist, doing something that they should have been doing for a very long time. Whenever you get the president or the vice president or any politician on your show just lying through their teeth seamlessly, he put the hammer down, and we're going to discuss that as well. We're going to also get into the things that I've had it with. I've got some information for you guys today, little known facts about sex. We're going to talk about all that. It all starts, my channel, Politics of Being Black, right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
What's going on, everybody? I'm back. I'm starting to get my mind together. Last 2 weeks have been so stressful on me. I mean, it was just like a wall was closing around me. I'm starting to get my hands around it now, and I'm back. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. Please be sure to go and jump on my news list, Politics of Being Black. Link is in the description. You can also catch me doing mini shows. You can catch me on the podcast. It's Podcast of Being Black. You can catch my IG. You can catch my TikTok. You can catch me pretty much anywhere. I'm putting out content, trying to keep you guys informed about what's going on in this damn crazy ass nation we're living in. And before we get into all these news stories we've got today, let's just first kind of talk about what it is we've had it with. I can't wait to hear what you guys have had it with. Please go ahead and drop me some comments in the line below and show me what it is you've had it with. For me, what I've had it with. I've had it with Stephen A. Smith coming for our black sisters. I've had it. Jasmine Crockett ain't the only sister he came for. He came for some other ones. When Stephen A. Smith first popped on the scene with Skip Bayless, I actually liked the dude. I thought that he was doing a good job of balancing his position of talking about sports and bringing into it the issues that minorities face in dealing with sports and in life in general, and the policies around what shape life for minorities. And then somewhere along the way, that versed, helpful brother turned into a shucking jiver as if he was a team member of the Carolina Hurricanes, shucking and jiving all over the place. First sign of that damn shucking and jiving of his, if y'all remember back when he had Skip Bayless, he would come up there every week with a new word he had just looked up in the damn thesaurus. Some of them was dereliction of duty, or what was another one he used to use all the time? He had a bunch of them. Quagmire was another one he used. That was the first sign that he was starting to shuck and jive, ladies and gentlemen. Now, mind you, this man has given to charities. He's gotten ESPN to come to HBCUs. He's done some things like that. But ladies and gentlemen, what is my argument when those things happen? It's fucking symbolic. Okay? Help the culture by helping the culture. Help the culture by infusing the culture with capital. Help the culture by when you have someone who's outstanding in the community, standing on principle for our voices, which is what Jasmine Crockett is doing, uplift them. Black women are the most resilient creatures to ever be created in human society, ever. The things that Black women have had to endure in this country and have still nowadays lead the nation in education is remarkable. And the way he attacked Jasmine Crockett just rubbed me the wrong way. We're going to get to that story in a minute. But for me, I've had it with Stephen A. Smith, And I want you guys to post your comments down below and let me know what you've had it with. All right, moving right along. Let's get to a little factoid I found today, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out, it'll blow your mind. A new study finds Americans are having record low levels of sex, even less than during the pandemic. That shit is shocking to me. It's shocking because I know one thing as a man, and men I've talked to in locker rooms, when they're stressed or when they're having a bad time, the number one thing they want is panty draws. And this study is saying that people are having less sex than what they had in the pandemic. Let me read to you what it's saying about that particular thing. New research reveals Americans are having less sex than ever, even less than the height of the pandemic. Sociologists point to a mix of factors: higher stress, digital burnout, dating fatigue, and declining relationship satisfaction. Younger generations are reporting less interest in dating altogether, as work, mental health, and social media dominate daily life. Experts say it's a cultural shift, one that raises bigger questions about intimacy, connection, and how technology is reshaping human relationships. Some of that makes sense to me, that a lot of people are getting their rocks off by watching things online instead of getting out here and meeting people. A lot of people are just saying the hell with relationships because it's too hard. And social media and people being able to live inside of a bubble have made them give up on trying to fight for a real relationship with someone. And people tend to have disagreements about certain things. But one thing that has always been an agreement is that people are attracted to people. People want to have sex. And to see this, it just makes you wonder what else is going on out there. And I would say to anyone who has a friend, a partner, a wife, or a relationship with someone who's willingly wanting to have sex with you, based on this data, cherish those relationships, engage those relationships, keep the intimacy in those relationships, because as you can see, it's hard out here on the player. And folks ain't getting the panty draws the way they once did get the panty draws. So if you got some good panty draws, make sure you're appreciating those panty draws. You're keeping the drive and the desire going, and work it out, and make sure that you're letting them know that you appreciate that connection that obviously is so hard to get right now in today's society. Now, moving right along to the next subject we got, and shout out to Jocelyn talking about Stephen A. Smith. Let me post her comment. Stephen A. Smith is jealous and mad because he can't come out with his girlfriend, boyfriend, white or white. Damn, you think he got a boyfriend? You think that's what's going on with him? I never thought about that. And I don't care if he does. You know, if you like getting pumped in the butt, or if you like pumping men in the butt, do your thing. I'm happy for you, but I don't like you coming out railing against Jasmine Crockett the way you did. And we're going to get there in a minute, because there are some things that he said about her that his ass ain't even said about the president of the United States. And when you measure which person is worse between Jasmine Crockett and the president, and then you measure which one has more power, the answer is clear. First story we're going to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all remember Laura Loomer, the one that looks like Jigsaw? This bitch right here? Yeah, her. Well, she is turning on her man toy, Trump. Take a listen to this, and we got to talk about Laura Loomer turning on all kinds of MAGA folks.
Oh, yes, this sweep. The Biden FBI placed 274 agents in. Laura Loomer says there isn't a single Trump supporter who supports allowing Qatar to have a military base on U.S. soil. I don't know who told President Trump this was a good idea, but it has made people not want to vote. This is the type of thing I would expect from a president. Ilhan Omar.
I find this so interesting because you see Steve Bannon's madder than a hornet about it. But let's all remember this. In addition to the flattery and the horseshit and the manipulation of Donald Trump, Qatar gave him a new jet, which he wanted because he thought his Air Force One wasn't good enough.
Shout out to the ladies of the I've Had It podcast. If you're not listening to them, you're missing out on a treat, informational and entertaining at the same time. But yes, do y'all remember Qatar gave Trump that airplane? Y'all remember Trump has got his damn golf course in Qatar? Y'all really thought that was going to be for free? I do remember people actually telling Democrats that we was losing our minds because we didn't want this man to take that plane. I remember that. I remember Republicans telling us we were losing our minds. And now you see why we didn't want that shit taken? Because now he is putting a base for Qatar, who has been our enemies for the longest, in Iowa, Idaho, one of them flyover countries. How y'all feel about that, MAGA? Because most of y'all is just straight up white nationalist racists. Y'all don't want brown people. You definitely don't want brown people who come from over there and sound like they screaming at the sun because it's so damn hot over there all the time. Whoa, 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 whoa. You don't want them. You barely want the black folks and the minorities you have in the country, let alone them. And for Laura Loomer to disrespect Ilhan Omar like that, it's just pathetic. I mean, you can't be lower than someone and be trying to punch up to their level, Laura Loomer, especially when your ass looks like this. You ain't got no reason to be bringing up my sister Ilhan Omar, who has only preached she wants peace in the Middle East. She wants Palestine and Israel to come to a ceasefire because she's tired of the killing of both groups of people. And when did that become something bad? But getting back to this, us folks who know Trump, who has been following Trump before he became president, we know that he is a bag of protoplasm. He ain't worth a damn. He is transactional. And now not only is he transactional, but he's demented. And the people surrounding him do nothing but lick the brown around his ass crack just to keep him smiling so that they can use him like a useful idiot that he is. Right now, they are going to put this base over there unless somebody jumps in here and stops it. And I hope that the midterms, we have a blue wave that rises all the way into 2028 so we can stop this type of stupid foolishness. Because these are the kind of people that have been on the radar as terrorists for Americans for the longest time. And it's insulting to me that all of a sudden, because they're giving the president money, he is treating them better than the minorities that are already fucking here. It bothers me that he's doing that, and it should bother MAGA. It should bother all MAGA. And the one thing that Laura Loomer said that I like and I agree with is that by doing this kind of stuff, you're going to have people not wanting to vote, MAGA folks. I love that part because we need MAGA to sit on their hands in these next coming elections anyway, even though they probably won't, because MAGA loves to hate. They love to own the libs. They would rather burn down their house because liberals are in the house with them and we all get burnt up than to see anybody get progress. And so hopefully Laura Loomer, Jigsaw, is right. They won't show up because they're mad about their boy Trump, their hero, really just being a piece of crap that he is and being transactional. Post your comments. Let me know what you think on transactional Trump and how you feel about Laura Loomer basically saying she's upset with him too. Now, Trump was out here 2 a.m. dox tweeting, ladies and gentlemen, and he was dox social truthing or social lying this right here, saying that Biden had plants in the January 6th riot. It's so sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's funny. Just take a look at this shit, man. You can't make this stuff up, man. I write scripts and I couldn't even come up with something that's this silly.
Oh, yes, this sweep. The Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, a lot of very good people will be owed big apologies. What a scam. Do something, President Donald J. Trump. Here's the problem with this. On January 6th, it was his FBI.
Right.
So he is clearly very demented, doesn't understand the timeframes, doesn't understand who was president during January 6th, doesn't understand who won in 2020.
God. This is y'all's president now. This is y'all's president. He is tweeting that it's Joe Biden's fault that we had these white monkeys taking over the whole Capitol, that Joe Biden had plants in there when Joe Biden wasn't even in power yet, ladies and gentlemen. Did he forget about that? Or is he just really coming out and telling you that his supporters are as dumb as they look right here? Look at these fuckers. Ain't nothing intelligent standing in this crowd. And literally Trump is telling you that. He is telling you that these people are not bright. And folks, these are the people that are running the country right now. Make no mistake. MAGA, JD Vance, the cabinet, Laura Loomer. These are the dummies running the country that would come out and tell you it's Joe Biden's fault for the riot. If it was Joe Biden's fault, ladies and gentlemen, why did Trump pardon all these people that went to the riot? Why would he do that? Think about that, MAGA. Or do you have the ability to think critically? Most people say you don't. I think you do, because when it comes to NASCAR, you think critically. When it comes to what beer you want to drink on a fucking weekend, you think critically. When it comes to your plots against people of color, you think critically. So think critically about your leader that you voted in there, who is as dumb as soap on a sidewalk in a 100-degree day. Post your comments on that, man. You just can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make it up. Golly, Trump. I can't wait to get your ass up out of here. JD Vance. And this was good to me. He went on one of the Sunday shows. He just starts spewing off lie over lie over lie. And what have we seen with the Trump administration, the first one and this one, and MAGA? They just lie. They will sit here and tell you that they was not on camera drinking a Diet Coke. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe what they tell you. And JD Vance finally got checked the way all media should be checking these people when they lie the way he did. Take a look at this. Mic drop.
I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
That's the way, right there.
Ooh, that was so good to me. That's how you shut down dictators. That's how you shut down propagandist folks. That's why you don't hardly see me going into debates unless there are clear rules on checking people when they lie. Let's break down Smokey Eye, who pretends he's heterosexual, but at nighttime dresses as a damn drag queen. Number one, his ass feels entitled. Did you hear the way he said, you have the vice president of the United States up here for 5 minutes, and yeah. Nigga, act like a vice president and you might get the respect of a vice president. That's number one. Then he goes on to lie and say that poor women can't get food. First of all, they never gave a damn about poor people in the first place. If they did, they wouldn't have done that big ugly bill that they did. That was the hugest wealth transfer from the bottom half of the United States to the top 10%. That hurt people's ability to get food, let alone this government shutdown. He then goes on to say that the government is shut down by Chuck Schumer. Ladies and gentlemen, they say this kind of stuff because they know that their constituents are not that bright. That's why they're not helping fund education. That's why they're trying to turn schools into these Christian right-wing incubators instead of teaching the history of this country unabridged and giving you good critical thinking skills. They want you dumb because you can fall for the banana in the tailpipe. There is no way Chuck Schumer is holding up anything. Chuck Schumer is not the majority party in the Senate. It's the Republicans. The Republicans right now have the House, the Senate, the presidency, and you might as well throw in the judiciary too, because the Supreme Court is as crooked as the letter S. He's lying. Tom Homan was caught on FBI video taking a $50,000 bribe. Stephanopoulos did exactly what every news outlet should do and stop acting like you're afraid of Trump. Now, Trump might try to sue. He might try to tell the company that, you know what, for what you have done to JD Vance to embarrass him, I'm going to do some FCC action. You know what? Let him do it. Let them do it. It's still not going to stop you. We would rather not hear them speak than to hear them get up there and shuck and jive and just keep fucking lying. Like, it just turns my stomach to hear them go down this lie. So it rolls off his back like water rolls off the back of a seal. Just gets into this tirade of just fucking lying. You don't care about starving women. If you did, you wouldn't have passed the big ugly bill. But ladies and gentlemen, post your comments. Did Stephanopoulos handle that right? He did for me, and we need to see a whole lot more of that, to be honest with you, because we got to shut down these lies, or we got to start fact checking them in real time. All right. Speaking of fact checking in real time, you know those hungry people, those hungry moms JD Vance was just talking about? Well, a Republican mother who's tied to the military, her husband's tied to the military, called into a show where Speaker of the House, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Republicans have the House, the Senate, the presidency, and the judiciary. She called in to talk to Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, about how this government shutdown that him and Trump are causing, they are the leaders of this, is hurting her. She's not going to be able to eat. I hope that this woman and her family has a change of heart and decides to go vote Democrat, because, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're at that inflection point where, if you know history, you know that during the late 60s, the mantras for each party, the Democrats and the Republicans, flipped, because back in the day, the Democrats were the Dixiecrats and the Republicans were the party of civil rights. They was the party of Abraham Lincoln and fighting the war to give slaves freedom. And during the late 60s, those things flipped. Right now, I'm looking at the same thing happening with parties right now. You used to believe that the Republicans were the party that loved the military. I've always told you they're not. The Republicans don't love the military. They pretend like they do, but when it's time for rubber to meet the road and you need to pay for services to help the people, they don't do it. It's Democrats that do it. Also, when it comes to religion and religious freedom, Republicans are not the party of religion no more. It's Democrats, because all Republicans want you to be able to preach is Christian nationalism. Not, if you're Muslim, practice being a Muslim. If you are a Baptist Christian, practice being a Baptist Christian. They don't want none of that. But the Democrats are like, come here, come as you are, celebrate whatever you want to celebrate. The big tentpole party is the Democrats. And I see that change coming with us. So take a listen to this woman pleading to Mike Johnson to get something done, and look at the bewildered butterface look on Mike Johnson's face, as if he just took his nose and sniffed his dog's fresh poop as he took him out for the morning walk. Take a look.
Republican voter, a military wife, rip into this little pipsqueak.
Republican line, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Samantha, you're on with Speaker Johnson.
Hi,
Hi, Mr. Johnson. So my question or comments are related to what you said yesterday about not being open to pass any legislation to ensure that military gets paid. I'm sure you can tell by my voice I'm very shaky. Just want you to hear a little bit about my family. I have 2 medically fragile children. I have a husband who actively serves this country. He suffers from PTSD from his 2 tours in Afghanistan. If we see a lapse in pay come the 15th, my children do not get to get the medication that's needed for them to live their life because we live paycheck to paycheck. I heard you earlier say that you side with President Trump on anything that he says. Well, I just read an article this morning that said he absolutely wholeheartedly believes that there needs to be legislation put in so that we do not miss a paycheck. You have the power to do that. And as a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die. We don't have the credit because of the medical bills that I have to pay.
Lady, first of all, you've got all these ailments. Your husband has PTSD. Is that why you continue to vote for the Republican Party, husband? You yourself, woman, are talking about the medical issues and food issues you're having with your kids. But you still voted for the Republican Party that is trying to take away health care. Okay, make it make sense for me. Now, I'm glad that you're calling Mike Johnson, fussing him out, but you could have helped be part of the solution by voting Democrat and getting all your friends to vote Democrat instead of, I guess, you just go into the voting booth and you just flail and get weepy-eyed thinking of the American flag, and that's what the Republican Party represents. But each and every time Trump has been in office, no president has screwed the military and its families more than the Trump administration. And you still took your ass in there and voted for him and his cronies. And you expect little Mike Johnson, who is also secretly gay, which is probably part of the problem why he can't get shit done, because he wants to come out, but he can't. You think that giving this heartfelt phone call to him is going to change a damn thing? It's not. It's not. What changes them is when you vote for the people that have your best interests forward. What changes them is when you take the power back from them and give it to the people who are trying to leverage the power of the government's money for everybody and not the top 1%. You and living paycheck to paycheck did not just happen overnight. This shit was going on when you voted for Trump the second time. And did you really think Trump was going to do something to fix that? Oh, let me guess. You thought that illegal aliens, illegal immigrants was sucking down so much money from the government that was what was causing the deficit in your paycheck. That's what you thought? No. Get a clue. What is killing you is this wealth transfer from that big ugly bill onto which the top 10% of this nation are sucking down all the money that the people below it put into the tax system, and they are using it when it should be the opposite way around. It should not be the top 10% get to socialize their risk with your money, and then when they get the gains from socializing your money, they capitalize on it and don't give it back. It should be that the greater majority of the people in this country get to socialize their needs, and the top 1% who don't need any help are helping to foot the bill to keep everybody in the loop. A rising tide raises all boats, not a single raindrop in the river raising the tide. That's not how it works, lady. Now, for your sake, because Democrats do care about your needs, I'm hoping that the president can get things fixed, because I don't want your family to fail. Even though I should, because you voted against your interests, I don't think like that. I want you to see how harsh, how stupid, how inept the Republican Party is, so that you will now start voting better. so that you will now start voting Democrats, so that you won't vote for this again, so that you don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. Now, Mike Johnson, get on your shit and come to terms so that people don't lose their health care and that this woman and her family can at least eat. Damn it, Mike. Damn it. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the crescendo. We get to Stephen A. Know Nothing Smith talking pure tea junk about my girl, Jasmine Crockett. And if anybody knows me, you know I was raised by a grandmother, so I know and understand the plight of women. I love Black women, and I rise hard for my Black sisters. I will go tooth and nail for them. And this is not the first time Stephen A. Smith has come for one of y'all. So take a listen and recap to what Stephen A. Smith said, and then we'll get to my thoughts on it and the thoughts of Tiffany Cross from the Native Land Pod, which is another pod you guys should be listening to as well. Take a look at Stephen A. Know Nothing Smith.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of
Lord have mercy. For this is so stupid on so many fronts. First of all, she is representing her people by standing up for the things this fucking administration is trying to take Stephen A. Know Nothing Smith. What the hell kind of compromises do you think she is going to get from the Trump administration? And make no mistake, Stephen A. Know Nothing Smith, the Trump administration and Trump in particular, if there is one entity that they hate more than anything else on the planet for two reasons. Whereas I love Black women, they hate Black women. Number one, because they know they're so resilient and smart. And number two, because usually they want to get their penises in some of that Black meat, and they know that that's a no-no. They can't do that. So they have these issues mentally dealing with Black women. They don't want to deal with them. And so you really think that Trump would try to do something with Jasmine Crockett? Not too long ago, Trump just basically called Jasmine Crockett dumb, low IQ. Yet this woman is an accomplished lawyer. If you see her track record of stuff she done before she became a congresswoman, this chick blazed up being an attorney. Trump doesn't have a pinky's fingernail of the intelligence this woman has. And you sit up here, and here's one of Stephen A. Smith's words that he used to use back in the day when he was shucking and jiving. You bloviate about her cussing at Trump. When was the last time you heard a Trump interview? Hell, when was the last time you criticized Trump or MAGA? You haven't, because you're placating to them. You're shucking and jiving for them because they have the power right now. That's what you're doing, Stephen A. Smith. Someone else, the new white people word this year is grifting. That's what you're doing. You're grifting to the MAGA base as if they're going to love you anymore, Stephen A. Smith. As if they're going to love you anymore. Now, one thing Stephen A. Smith does that gets on my nerves, and anybody who does this gets on my nerves, they run around here talking about something they're independent. What the fuck does that mean? Especially in the condition we're in right now, with a person trying to be an authoritarian, a person who's telling you he doesn't want to leave office, a person who's got hats up for 2028 when he's not even supposed to be able to run. Anyone who says to me, oh, I'm an independent, that just means you vote Republican. Stephen A. Smith loves to run around talking about how he's a great capitalist. He loves capitalism. I think more people would love capitalism too if they were sitting in your position and got all this money. You just signed a $100 million contract. Of course, people are going to love capitalism at that point. But if you really love capitalism, you be railing about how the people that are sitting at the top of capitalism keep making it harder for the folks on the bottom to get to a position to be capitalizing on capitalism. And you would rail about how the guardrails that are supposed to protect people from capitalism keep getting fallen off when Republicans get in office. But you're not doing none of that. So Stephen A. Smith, take 2 cups of sit down and 1 cup of shut the fuck up and stop letting these black women get them out of your mouth. Having said that, let's go check out my thick-tongued sister, Tiffany Cross of the Native Land Podcast, as she drops her thoughts on Stephen A. Nothing Smith.
Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute, pure, self-hating, little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying, F Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what black women do. We organize.
Yeah, but they're...
I agree with her, and I'm going to give some caveats to why some people haven't abandoned him. Number one, I just got finished talking about capitalism. One of the guardrails for capitalism is being able to not have monopolies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to sports shows, damn near ESPN and First Take is a monopoly. Sure, you can go watch social media shows, but when it comes to network TV, there's not a whole lot of competition for that show. There's just not. The best competition that they had was Skip and Shannon, and we saw what happened with that. We need some other competition to that damn show. Now, mind you, if you are really and truly principled, you still won't watch it. I don't watch it. I don't. I'll listen to someone who's doing recaps and stuff like that on YouTube. Most of the time when that show is on, I'm trading stocks anyway. Speaking of trading stocks, he should be running his mouth about how President Trump fucked up stocks Friday, come out running his fat lip about he wanted to put all these extra tariffs on China and it crashed the market. And to show you how smart Trump is, he crashed the market, didn't realize that that would take down his own personal income and net worth about half because he went out there running his own damn mouth. Maybe Stephen A. Smith should talk about that because I'm sure Stephen A. Smith has money in the stock market and it dropped that day. Needless to say, the market rebounded today, and I was sitting here in it. And was I watching Stephen A. Know Nothing Smith? No. I was sitting here listening to music, listening to podcasts, trading stocks, and having a great day. And folks, get Stephen A. Smith out of your life. Just do it. Now, this man could make things a little better by coming out and apologizing. And it's not beyond him to apologize. But I don't think he's going to apologize because he's enjoying all this notoriety he's getting. Hell, I'm up here talking about it, and a lot of other people is talking about it. And somebody in the Trump ilk once said, any publicity is good publicity. There ain't no such thing as bad publicity. And so I'm sure he's enjoying it. And mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, if the Democrats win the midterms, what kind of song and dance you think he's going to be doing then? What type of shucking and jiving you think he's going to be doing then? Post your comments down below and let me know. Before I get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, I've come up with the Lamont Tyson Save the Kids Gun Act. It is my way to meet everybody in the middle on gun control. Take a listen to this, and then I'll get you guys out of here. Be sure to comment. Be sure to go and follow me right here on this link. Politics of Being Black /Beacons AI. You can get my newsletter. You can stay up to date on my latest shows, everything I'm dropping from both channels all the way to TikTok. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm out. Listen and share this part of my podcast with your friends about my solution for gun control to help everybody out in America. My friends, I've come up with a decent solution for gun violence. I'm calling this the Lamont Tyson Save the Kids Gun Chip Act. How does it work? We have microchips installed in every high-power manufactured gun and long-range rifle. And anytime that gun gets within a 2-mile radius of a highly populated area, it pings the local authorities, it pings the campus police. Hell, it can also ping the Walmart flashlight guy. And they go see what's going on and they shut down the situation before it gets there. The next phase of this would be that we have thumbprint activated guns. But for now, let's do the microchip. The NRA, those who own guns, as well as the government, should all be happy with this because it helps all of them. NRA makes money because the government would provide the funding to put the chips in the guns. The gun manufacturers get money because of the same situation. The government should be smiling because instead of having these kids die at an early age, you'll have them live and they'll be long living taxpayers. And rednecks who claim that they ain't up to no good should like it too, but I know what they would say. I don't want no damn government tracking me. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If your redneck friend, your MAGA friend, or whoever owns a gun also own a cell phone, their asses is already being tracked. Please share this with your politicians, your local folks who can make things happen. The Lamont Tyson Save the Kids Gun Chip Act, it's a win-win for everybody. Everybody in this situation has skin in the game, and there's no excuses for us not getting this done with the technology we have. This is a win.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.